Yeah.
Ready.
Hopefully everyone can hear us. All of the audio things are coming through. Everyone talk.
Hey there. Hi there, Ho here. Welcome back to Blerd Roundtable. Today we're talking about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 3. So technically halfway through the series, the mid-season episode, if one would. And as usual, we got Momo Scariot coming live from Japan, and then Amelia, somewhere, I think maybe in the Midwest.
Oh, right now I'm in Indiana.
So, oh my God, my best friend is in Indiana. Where you at?
I'm in Bloomington.
I'm going to text them later. What's good? Oh my God. Meet my friend before you meet me, but like whatever.
Well, I'm leaving tomorrow.
Well, bitch, I guess never mind. And I am High Ho Silver.
I guess never mind.
And there's Fonzie just minding her business. So, as always, we're going to start with a 30-second recap. Who's got the timer ready?
I got the timer ready.
Hold on.
All right.
Since Amelia missed it last week, you got to do it now.
Momo, you think it's not you, Momo? You think it's not you, Momo? That's cute. It's you, Momo. So get ready. Time to give us a 30-second recap. Let's go.
Okay, so the show starts off with Bucky breaking Zemo out of jail. His name is Helmet Zemo and not Baron Zemo, apparently, even though Baron's a much better first name. And Sam's upset about it, but then they still go on an adventure anyway. And so I forget what happens in the middle. I think someone listens to Marvin Gaye, and then Bucky is actually just listens to old white music. And they get to Madripoor, and they kill some person called Selby, not Shelby, for whatever reason. And
done.
Damn it.
So I'm really glad you had to speculate on what Bucky listens to, because not all 40s music is white.
I like 40s music, and I'm just like, that sounds super Caucasian to me. You don't like Marvin Gaye, but you like the 40s music?
Listen, I'm just saying, we know Black people created all music, so I will not erase any Black artists from any decade.
That's fair.
That's where I stand on this.
Yeah.
Or he might listen to Yiddish bops, because I had a Yiddish concert come. No, I just know Yiddish bops are amazing. I had a concert come through once, went to it. It was life-changing, truly.
Amazing.
It was. So, you missed half the plot, but for those who didn't miss it, they went to Madripoor, they shot somebody, someone took a shot with some snakes in it, and then they found a dude who was making the serum, shot him, got shot at, a little more pew-pew, and then they left.
Yeah.
And Sharon Carter was there.
Well, Sharon Carter killed like at least 12 people, too.
At least.
We love a girl boss. we love a girl boss.
I think she might be the girl boss of Marvel. I think that is her new role. She had me in the first half, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
The second half, she was like, fuck Steve specifically. And I was like, where did that come from?
I saw some people talking about that they thought that what happened is they probably wrote a different character, and then either for like conflict reasons, for larger plot reasons, they decided, or like just, to cast someone who was in the Captain America kind of storyline, that they would have switched her out for that. And that made the most sense to me, because I was like, why did any of this happen? Why are you so mad? Why didn't Captain America get you a pardon at any point in the last 5 years?
Right.
Why are you so angry? I don't know.
Yeah, her entire thing was confusing, but like they've never done her right, so it's just like, I'll enjoy her not flirting with anyone and just fighting people. That was pretty great.
I do love that in a woman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, let's go to Act 1.
Sure.
Act 1. The opening, amazing. I love a Ocean's 11 heist montage more than anything else on this planet.
Yeah.
Truly. It's amazing.
It was really good. I think the thing that gets me though is if I work prison guard, right?
Word.
And we have Zemo, we have really big bad guy. Okay, and we're like, oh, he broke out of prison somehow. And then I remember the fact that the last person to visit him was in fact the Winter Soldier. I feel like I would be connecting some dots there that weren't connected or that were implied to not be connected. Which I love that for Bucky. Love that for him.
Walker did connect those dots.
Walker did.
I think,
but he's Walker.
I think part of it was partially because it was a prison fight that did start it, where like threw it off, because they're like, Winter Soldier don't know these motherfuckers.
True.
And like Winter Soldier don't know the ins and outs of prison politics like that. Every time he was locked up, he was on ice. But I think also anyone who did put those things together, he was like, listen, do I want to get in the middle of Avengers business?
No, that's how you get got. That's how you die.
I was like, as soon as I would see any of those motherfuckers, I'd be like, that's not my business.
None. Didn't see it.
Am I getting paid enough for this? No.
No.
Apparently, Baron Zemo is, though.
Yeah, apparently none of the Avengers are getting paid for it either.
Literally, when he stepped up, he had a private plane.
Yeah.
A private plane. I mean, it makes sense when you have to think about all the things he had to do to lead up to Civil War. Like, that, you have to bankroll that. But, like, motherfucker got bank. He got Old White Butler bank.
I know. It's like he's got his own Alfred.
Like, okay, so I do have a slight criticism of. Oh wait, we haven't done the sidekick announcements.
That's later. Let's go do a little later. We're gonna do it after Act 1. Let's go.
All right. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, one criticism I do have for this show is that it requires a lot more knowledge of like previous events of the MCU than WandaVision did.
That's fair.
Like WandaVision, you could have watched it without knowing anything about the MCU and like fill in the dots. But this one, like, there's so many callbacks to previous like movies. That's why I'm like a little bit lost, because I didn't really know who Sharon was. I just knew that she was in a different movie. I didn't really know her significance to the universe. And I didn't even know who Zemo was, so it didn't like hit.
I forgot who Zemo was. I thought he was the guy who was in a computer.
I thought that one movie died.
Oh well.
I really thought he was dead.
So I was just like, oh, I guess he's a bad guy. I don't know how bad though.
Yeah.
So I just assumed he was because
the thing
like,
is, he is not a good guy. He is not. No. He is not a good guy. He is an honest man. To be fair,
he's the worst criminal ever. I was just like, oh, so I guess he's a white supremacist.
He isn't. He's just very good at his job.
Very well read on race theory.
Yeah, he's very well read on race theory, and he's just very. See, I think one of the reasons why he's the worst is because, you know, other villains failed. Like, most villains, like, they monologue or whatever. Zemo just keeps it pushing. He's like, I got things to do.
Yeah.
Smells like broken here. I don't deal with pores. And he gets the job done. He literally was like, I'm gonna fuck up the Avengers, and then he did.
And I do it again.
Really.
I also think one thing, I was in like a group chat talking with people about it, and they mentioned that Zemo's the kind of person who thinks he's the smartest guy in the room, who thinks he knows most about everything that he knows about. And I think that's part of what makes him dangerous. Like the fact that he's explained to Sam on like 2 separate occasions what it is like to be Black in America, with like such an air of authority, where I'm like, that was a bold move there, Zemo.
I will say, I don't know which one you're talking about, but the one where they're walking towards Manchapore, I took that. I didn't take it as like him being like Black Americans. I think it was more of like, remember that America is the center of the world, which I think is what he's doing.
Fair. I don't know.
Because like when he was like a fashion-forward Black man being a pimp, that's American, which I was like, and that might be because I am first generation, so like. Comments like, I was like, yeah, he just looks like, I was like, he just looks like my uncles. What the fuck are you talking about?
I
And was
also
like,
think, like, if you're walking somewhere with a white guy who's in a giant fur-lined coat, like a huge coat, and you
Yeah.
think you're the one who looks like a pimp,
yeah,
you should
I was
reconsider.
like, bruh, like, get on the pimp like catalog. Like, you know how JCPenney mails out some shit? Like, get your own and
Yeah.
figure out what pimps look like. But I will say, seeing people on TikTok thirst over Zemo is a lot to handle.
It's a lot. It is.
Is
a
it
lot.
surprising, though? It is a lot.
I agree only in that he's rich.
Yeah. He's rich and he's, like, competent.
Yeah. He, like,
I didn't
once
trust
again,
anyone
he's...
on TikTok after y'all were thirsting after Paul Bettany saying how hot he was. No, he is
What?
not.
He's not.
Listen, he's 6'3".
He's
That
tall.
doesn't mean anything to me.
Is he hot or is he just tall and British? Like, that's a
Thank
question we
you.
all should ask ourselves anytime
Thank
people
you.
are thirsting over celebrity.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is he hot or
Yeah.
is he just not mean to women?
I think when he wears the specific glasses and he gets eyebrows from the glasses, I'm like, I get it. Every other time, I'm like, he doesn't have eyebrows. I find that so unsettling.
I just
I
don't
find that-
understand how you can
I find
see
it-
Paul Bettany's.
I find
just
it
don't-
so unsettling.
He is way hotter as Vision than he is as Paul Bettany. I said it.
Correct.
It's true.
If you looked at his hair at any stage in WandaVision and you were attracted to that man, I don't understand. I
It's
do
the
not.
He is hotter
eyebrows
as the
for
red-
me.
as the
I-
red as a
Eyebrows.
human.
It's literally...
This
so
man
I'm
is not
saying, like,
Cara Delevingne. His eyebrows are just okay.
No, that's what I'm saying. He doesn't have them. That's why I find it unsettling. The only person who like doesn't have eyebrows that I find super hot is Whoopi Goldberg, and that's because she's a national treasure.
Yeah, that's allowed. I didn't even
Yeah.
realize she didn't have eyebrows until someone pointed it out, like, relatively
Exactly.
recently, like a year or two ago. I'm like, wow. That's how you know she makes it work.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's just who she is, and for that we stand. But yeah, but like me being into Zemo, I'm like, he just does what he does, and he has money, and I'm like, you know what? I get it. Actually, the one thing I really like about Zemo's character is he does serve as the reminder of the Avengers' failings.
Yeah.
He was just like, oh yeah, I was a fucking baron. Oh, you forgot rich people existed because it was a war-torn country? And you're like, oh. He was like, have any of y'all been to the Sokovian Memorial? And you're like, oh. Oh, did you not know Sokovia's gone because, you destroyed it and then it just got taken over by other nations? And you're like, yike, ooh,
That also brings me to another point that I think is important, and this is where they tie it. Oh, what's the girl's name? It starts with a K. It's
Carly?
Carly, yes. Is I'm really tired of Marvel doing this thing where all of the villains make really good points. Like Carly's whole thing criticizing the way governments treat refugees, the way they mishandle things, that they clearly favor certain parts of the populace over others. Zemo very saliently pointing out the problems that the Avengers caused in the world, the way governments fail people, where you kind of agree with both of them. And then they make them murder someone so you remember they're the bad guy. It's like this common theme of we are going to criticize the individuals responsible for evil capitalism without ever saying that capitalism itself is bad, because all the people who are arguing against this point also are murderers.
Honestly, I was just like, listen, Marvel, we said eat the rich. So sometimes there's a little extra gunpowder seasoning. Who knew? But the other thing, speaking of capitalism being the villain, the Lunesta commercial, the freaking call your doctor if you experience these side effects, maybe to ask your doctor if Viagra is good for you, global repatriation commercial. What in the... I saw that and I was like, I have never been so quickly unsettled. I was like, why does this feel so light?
It's supposed to. I feel like it's very much just in case you didn't realize these were the bad guys, here you go.
And part of me was like, who's in charge? Also, this is actually a side point before I forget. Can we talk about how disrespectful the Sokovian Accords are. Here's those Accords over a country that don't exist, that Tony Stark blew the fuck up twice, basically.
That's not funny. That's not funny.
They're not real people. They're fake. It's an imaginary land. It's a little funny.
It was just like no good reason. He just was like, this part of the map, I don't like it. Poof.
God.
And just like
Tony.
It's so.
May your
but
soul
also,
rest in hell.
I think like one of the things that I'm like, I feel like one of the things I'm worried about with the series, because we only have like 3 episodes left, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it seems to be opening a lot of like storylines and a lot of threads about all of the problems that the Avengers and that superheroes have caused. And because it's Marvel, I know they're not going to close them up in this series, because I know it's just teeing up for some movie that they want me to watch, which I feel like is doing a bit of a disservice to all of these characters.
That's true. It's one of those things where I'm like, if it was just like not American style, in that like,
Yeah.
I love good like open-ended, sit in your own uncomfortability. But Falcon and the Winter Soldier is military propaganda still.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, so you're like, okay, fine. You're not gonna like let me have my beautiful nuanced ending. You're gonna be like, Meh.
What happens next?
Eventually the right guys get the right things, haha, and the government will help. Even though the bad parts of the government will be taken to task, but the government's still okay. And you're like,
yeah, not to bring it too much to like real world things, but reminds me of someone who said that like the Derek Chauvin trial, they're like, he's arrested, he's probably going to get convicted, to remind people to still have faith in the system, to pretend that the system works, and act like, you know, police officers didn't kill a teenager last week in Chicago. Like,
yeah.
And I see that a lot with Marvel, with this idea that all of these problems can be fixed by just giving a better person more power to subdue the villain,
Right.
as if these things can be solved by heroes.
Also, as we see from Steve Rogers, people get tired.
Yeah.
Steve had to literally go into the past to get some peace. He was literally like, if y'all know I'm alive, y'all won't let me rest. I literally have to get my ass to before most technology existed in order to find some peace.
Yeah.
Like, who wants that? I swear to God, if someone gave me superpowers tomorrow, you would not even know.
No. I think about that a lot.
Yeah.
It's just a headache. Superpowers is too headache.
You wouldn't know what my powers were, but you would know my superhero sidekick name. Transition, segue.
Nice segue.
Thank you.
He's
Off the
8.5.
cuff.
8.5.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very solid. So, who wants to start off? Actually,
What?
or we can. We're going in alphabetical
order. That's how we assign them. So,
Oh, God.
Amelia, all you. What is Deja's sidekick name?
Okay, I want to preface this. I am bad at coming up with fun names. Am I a fun person? No. I struggle so much, and my name doesn't sound like a sidekick name as much as it sounds like the name of a minor deity.
Okay,
So
that's still good.
I went with the name, I will type it out in the Twitch chat, Helianthus, because it means of the sky and flower. It's also the genus names for sunflowers. And I was picturing Deja having like, because I just think of like sunflowers and bright and warm yellow, but also like blinding light that just like heat visions and sears into people. Because that's the vibes that I was working with.
I didn't know we were supposed to be assigning powers with.
It was a part of the process. It was a part of my process.
Okay. I hope nobody else did your process, because I didn't.
Well, so Deja texted me their name.
Yes.
I'm gonna drum roll. Please tell them I have decided their name is Sparky.
We're gonna fight.
Psych! Tell them that to annoy them, but my actual name
I
for her...
hate you! I hate you!
That's what I'm just reading the notes.
Deja, I hate you.
I
hate you.
The actual name is Iron Shadow for no other reason than it sounds cool, and we need to reclaim iron from Tony Stark.
Thanks, Deja. You're wrong for that one, but thank you.
I had you in the first half, not gonna lie.
Had you in the first half, not gonna lie.
That's amazing.
So it's my turn.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I took a lot of inspiration from Hi-Ho's like aesthetic of being like dark but plus silver, like to like lighten it, make it like a focal point color. So I went with the name Silver Bullet.
Solid.
You were just shoot guns?
No.
I
didn't come up with a power, but I feel like
just Silver Bullet
is like still super good because like what do you do? Like
murder werewolves.
Power? Are you just like super fast? So it's all you see is like a silver bullet go past you. Like
I feel like this leans into my Wild West Madame persona. Like,
see, that works.
Fastest gun in the West.
Yeah. Actually,
Silver
this is
bullet.
actually really funny because for Amelia, since you were a sidekick, I assumed you were my sidekick, and since I was silver, I gave you gold, so I gave you golden thread. And your power is like kind of marionette style with like threads of fate, and you just kind of like
That's a good one.
I feel so seen. Oh my god.
That's a good one.
I can't believe you just assigned me the sun to your moon.
yeah, that's really what happened. So, well, yeah, you were a sidekick. I was like, who's sidekick?
Can you remind me of like what my sidekick name was? Because I forgot it already. Iron
Shadow.
Thank you. I forgot what my power was. It just sounds cool. I didn't get a power. It just
that was the point because it sounds cool, and you need to reclaim iron from Tony Stark. So I guess your superpower is bitch slapping Tony Stark.
I'm just going to assume that my power has something to do with like dissolving into shadows. Like maybe seeping through walls and shit. Like a lot of phasing powers like Vision. That's what I'm assigning my power to be.
Vision?
Word.
Like essentially like Vision's powers.
I'm
okay with that.
That's fair. Yeah. I can do that. Also, sorry for burping, guys. I'm drinking...
I didn't even hear you.
Yeah, green tea and
Not
citrus
sponsored.
caffeinated
Don't
water.
say the brand unless they give us money.
No free clout.
Not sponsored.
No free clout.
I'm just poor and it was on sale. So shout out to coupons. Not sponsored. You can't see the brand of the candy in the background either. Now, we met a lot of people today in this episode. Selby, who got shot. Something about her being British, and there's something about like it's like stereotypical, but it's always so accurate when you're just like, of course a fucking colonizer is trying to run this displaced imperialized, victimized country. And you're like,
the Indonesian country that has no South Asians in it whatsoever, apparently.
Not a single one.
Not a one.
To be fair, I was
we
like,
did go to the gentrified portion of it.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
But
or maybe all of the Southeast Asians aren't in the poor part.
I mean, I would like to believe that, but do I want to give Marvel that much credit?
We don't have to give them the credit. We can just say that's our little fan canon.
Little fan
Someone in their brains or in post. There's no post, but like in post, just add a little poo and just put fan canon
in the Disney pop-up edition.
Yeah, Disney pop-up. Mandrapore. All of the Southeast Asians are not poor in Mandrapore. they are living economically stable, thriving lives in Hightown. I didn't expect Selby to get shot so fast. Sam's sister.
I'm sorry. You are going undercover as gang leader man, and you don't put your phone on silent? My phone has never made a sound. My phone has never made a sound since I took it out of the box. Like, come on, man. Rookie stuff. And like,
to be fair, Sam is a rookie. That was one of the things this episode highlighted. This motherfucker don't know shit about shit that is not above board. He's like,
I just want the show to let Sam be good at something, anything.
He is good at tech. Red Wing got destroyed.
And hacked.
He's really good at stuff that like involves things he's comfortable with. So like wearing his suit and flying around and like using his tech is something he's comfortable with, but like he's not, when he's out of his element, he literally does not know what to do.
Yeah, and I do think like because we're seeing it, I think we're seeing it more easily with Bucky since he had movies beforehand, technically, like where we're seeing him come into his own and like we're kind of watching them ramp up to be heroes, like they're on their own right. And I guess for Sam, we're watching him, we're seeing him go through a lot more nuanced, smaller things because we're like, okay, he has to deal with being the Black Captain America. Okay, he has to understand like what it's like to like do things based on your morals and like how being above board like by government standards doesn't mean actually being above board. And like he was like, undercover shit, what?
I think I'm starting to understand Sam a little bit more. Like I realize now that he's just really not ready to be his own like hero, like as big as Captain America, because he is still very much like an army boy. Like he's used to following orders. Like he's used to having something like a structure to do. So when he has to like literally go out of his element in something he's not comfortable with, like he literally is just standing there.
He doesn't have the experience, and this is him getting that experience, and it is painful to watch because you're like, okay, dude, get your shit together, but you're like, well, how would he? Because he was literally following Captain America. You don't even literally. If Captain America came into my life and it was just like we're doing this and this, I would not a single thought in this head. True. Not a single thought. I'd be like, this motherfucker got it. I don't give a shit. And now he's like, oh, I have to be the one to get it. Awkward. It's still annoying.
Yeah, like I just want the show to show us like good Sam in his element, showing off, kicking ass.
Yeah, that was the first 15 minutes of the first episode. Okay. That's why they did that. That was supposed to sustain us until we get to
I need to be reminded every episode. You don't get one fight scene and then it's like, okay, we gave him a fight scene. Please stop bothering us.
Yeah.
So
I think that's probably going to come back because he did say, like, in that first episode, he was like, oh, we're going to do it my way. Or it's like, I'm going to find a way. And then he does. Yeah. So I think we're going to get that eventually. I don't know if it's going to be as great as we want it to. I don't know if it's going to lead to, like, a Falcon movie where we finally get it because that would be mad annoying. But
I mean, like, we had to wait 10 years for even, like, a buzz about a Black Widow movie. So, like, I wouldn't hold our breath for a Falcon movie.
No, I don't know what's happening. I also don't know if, like, I don't know if MCU would give Anthony Mackie, like, leading role in a movie, you know?
Yeah, that press tour would be a mess. Every time I see an interview with that man, I'm like, who let him out of the house? Like, okay. But yeah, and I think Bucky's like growth is also equally stunt. I feel like it's interesting because I feel like we're watching him regress. Like I'm like like Sam is like a stumbling child. Bucky seems like a kid who like just has a broken leg and no one's discussing it.
I'm so upset that Captain America got Bucky out of his court-mandated therapy. That boy needs help. so
To be
much
fair,
help.
yeah, but like he does. Maybe not from a government therapist.
Oh, he needs an actual therapist, but there's no way he's going to go to therapy unless someone makes him, is the thing.
Yeah.
Listen, maybe Baron can get him hooked up.
I don't think Baron has a vested interest in Bucky's emotional growth. That might be a hot take.
He doesn't, but also bartering might be a thing. I don't know.
It's true.
He might be like, I'll let you live if you get me a good therapist. I won't turn you in to Wakanda if you get
Give
me
me some of that
therapy.
European healthcare. Yeah.
True.
Speaking of getting turned into Wakanda.
Wait, it's too early. It's too early.
Oh, it's truly early? Okay, never
I haven't
mind.
even gotten to Sharon yet.
Okay, let's go to Sharon. Fine.
Okay, Mama, thoughts on Sharon?
Oh, okay. My thoughts on Sharon. Like, I didn't really have really that much of a preconceived notion of her. I just knew that she was used as kind of like a prop in the movie that she was in. Like, was it Civil War? So I was just like confused.
No, her first one was
Winter Soldier.
No, was it before that? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Yeah, okay.
It's one of the Captain America movies.
Yeah.
I don't know which one it was.
They're the same movie, it's fine.
Like, I feel like I kind of like her in this show. Like, I feel like she knows what she's doing more than anyone else that we've like seen in the show yet. Like, she's the only one that's just like, yeah, I know what's going on. I know what's happening. Like, I know what to do.
Yeah.
And everyone else is just like, you do. You know what to do. She's like, yeah, I do. You don't.
I do like her as a character. It's just this is not the same character we were introduced to in the movies, which is what's weird for me. Like, I think she seems like cool, but it's just like it was just so different. It's like she's a different person played by the same actress.
Yeah, that's what it feels like disjointed. I'm just like, did the blip change you that much? Like, what?
Did she get blipped? I don't think so, right?
No, she didn't.
But like, still, like that 5 years, like, what? I was like, okay.
And do we think that Sharon is the power broker?
No, I don't think I do.
I kind of do.
At this point, I kind of do.
I don't know if I do. I don't know who I want the power broker to be. I do. So the way I feel after this episode on specific characters is I'm like, Zemo is going to not shockingly betray people, but like he's also going to give plenty of warning. It's like he's just going to be gentlemanly about it. Like when he shot that dude, I was like, word.
We knew that was going to happen. As soon as you got him in the room with Super Serum guy, you knew it was going to happen.
Also, I'm glad he did it.
That guy was a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Truly.
He's like, I was a god, and I'm just like, oh, can someone just shoot him already?
And then Zemo did, and I was like, listen, Zemo is a bad person, but he kills worse people. And you're just like, if you stop killing the better people and just focus more on the worst people, we could be friends. But also, he's that friend
you just be an Avenger at that point.
Truly. He's the friend. Baron Zemo's that friend where you're just like, this person is a mess and is probably going to end up in prison. But when you need something handled, he's the one you call. You know, you're just like, oh, if I bring this bitch out and she gets drunk, she's going to get into a bar fight. But you're like, actually, we're going to confront my cheating ex at a bar, so...
It's okay.
Shots on me? Shots on me? So that's how I feel on Zemo. Also, his drip is immaculate. Actually, I was like, Sharon is a different person. I liked her, but I also know she's going to annoy me. I know there's something in there that she's hiding, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it is the power broker, but she's going to be annoying about it.
Like, I just feel like it'd be a little weird to introduce the power broker closer to the end of the series. Like, this is
they've already introduced so many characters with no sign of how they're going to resolve any of these plot lines.
Exactly, and there's only 3 more episodes left, so I don't know how you're going to like introduce your big bad in the last half of the show.
Yeah.
So I feel like it has to be someone we've already met.
Also, just filed under things I don't understand. I truly don't know how Sam thinks he can get a pardon for Sharon when he can't get himself a home loan or like a
To be
boat loan.
fair, the bank versus the government is a little different. I'll say
There's
that.
like no severance or anything for the Avengers. Like, what clout does Sam have, especially now that he's running AWOL with the Winter Soldier, and like they know that he declined like the new Captain America's offer because they would want that to help integrate him.
Yeah, well,
I
he
think
does do
Steve
contract
is-
work for the government, so I think he's probably leaning on that. Or
And I also-
he's
I don't
thinking of
think
his
Steve is-
naivete.
I don't think Steve is dead either. So there's a pretty good chance he's just going to be like, hey, Steve, so you forgot to pardon Sharon. Can you get on that?
I know you're 80. Your mind isn't what it used to be.
To be fair, according to Isaiah Bradley, the mind stays. And the strength stays. Which I'm like, why did Cap become an old twink and Isaiah's a beefy beefcake?
Mm.
That was the part I was like, I guess. But, and then Wyatt Russell, a.k.a. John Walker, a.k.a. Trash Cap. He is he's part of the big bad. Listen, the sheer white rage. He
Very much giving me punching drywall energy.
Yes,
He
I was
hit
like,
he hit like a foreign person because they didn't answer his question properly.
Yeah.
oh, and he spit on them. He got spat on.
There was a part of me that's
That was
like,
nice.
yeah.
I was like,
that
nice.
he deserved
You got
that.
spit on. Yeah.
But I'm also
Yeah.
like, okay, I do understand he is a bad guy, you know? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's just, but like, that's the thing of like, it shows, well, like, that scene I think is so good for so many reasons, because it shows how he thinks of himself as, I was like, that is American. I was like, oh, I can do whatever I want.
I'm like,
Yeah,
well,
don't you know,
oh my God.
I'm the most important
I'm
motherfucker on this
rolled
planet.
my
I was like,
eye. If anyone
like-
said that to me in real life,
I was like, dude, America ain't shit in other parts. Like, why would they be obsessed with you? Second of all, it shows that he can't handle the pressure.
yeah.
That he can't handle it. He's like, he thought it was literally going to be handed over him like the shield was. And I think part of it is because he's trying to get that serum. For 100%.
Yeah. He's like, he does not understand the concept of like respect being earned, not just like given with a title. So he's just like, why don't they respect me as Captain America? I'm Captain America. It's like, we really don't care.
Hashtag not my captain.
Yeah. Just like, oh, Captain, my captain, not you. But yeah, like, it's just like one of those things where I'm like, I think that scene for me, I was just like, the reason he's going after Carly so hard, not only for whatever reason they have to, but part because like Battlestar did like go like, no, it's okay. He was like, I think he wants something with that serum. I think the serum is going to tie back to the American government. I think that might be closer to Sharon than I think, because part of me is like, I just feel like there's a link somehow between the serum, the power broker, and John Walker, and I think he's trying to get the serum for himself.
I do think he's trying to get the serum for himself. I don't think it's as coordinated, though. Like, I don't think he's necessarily going after Carly, because he was going after them beforehand. I feel like it has to do with him not being able to take the pressure, and it's like Captain America, you know, took down Hydra, took down Thanos, all these things, and especially with like the government trying to reform itself in the global whatever our council. I think he wants a win, and he's tired of feeling like he doesn't add up or doesn't measure up to Steve's Captain America. And so he's fixated on this because he should be able to beat some random like 20-something girl or however young she is. And he feels like because he's Captain America, and, you know, like that whole thing where he's getting spit in the face and he's like, do you know who I am? He's not getting the respect that he thinks he deserves because he hasn't earned it. But I think it's less of like a coordinated effect and more, I think he seems like the kind of person who doesn't realize that he's after the serum, but when an opportunity presents itself, he'll take it. We get Red Skull Part 2.
Oh, he's definitely going to get it. He's definitely going to take it.
He's going to take it.
Yeah.
There was a TikTok, unfortunately I forgot the user's name, but like where they pointed out how in Winter Soldier Bucky caught Cap throwing the shield with a metal arm, and when, his baby John Walker threw it, he could do it with his human arm. And like rewatching, not like rewatching, but like seeing the scenes again, when he throws it, it actually doesn't look that impressive.
Oh yeah.
He treats it like a boomerang.
Also, because I wasn't on last week to say this, I wanted to say it this week about John Walker. I think the problem is John Walker is the reason why he's such a shitty Captain America is because he's a good soldier. He's good at getting an objective and doing that. And Steve was a really shitty soldier. He was constantly going against orders to do what he thought was right. And I think that's the big difference between them, and it's going to be his downfall, and why I hate him so much, because no one likes that like good soldier archetype, especially when they're an asshole about it with whatever little power they've been given.
Yeah, he's blind patriotism, blind following to a T, just like
when you are someone like John Walker, why would your patriotism be anything but blind? Like literally everything the country, how it stands, is in your favor. So why would you think any differently?
And
truly.
And when he's going over the things he did about like jumping on a grenade and stuff, like with his, helmet and things, John Walker in some way thinks that he deserves this. Not like he thinks that on some level he has earned this ability. That's the only kind of person who says, "Do you know who I am?" is the kind of person who believes that they have worked to get to where they are. And I think it's why he's only going to get worse the longer he's Captain America, because that's not how that's not how Steve was formed. That's not why he was chosen, and that's not how he developed as a character in any way.
Yeah.
John Walker
I am excited.
Respect. He doesn't actually do anything to earn it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do think, or maybe this is just wishful thinking, I do think we might get a scene of, forgot his real name, Battlestar, leaving. Like abandoning him. Because like you kind of thought a little bit when he's like, calm the fuck down, like do this, do that. And you're just like, oh, is he gonna abandon his friend? Is he gonna stop his enabling ass coon behavior and just being like, ugh, my best friend is not great, so I'm gonna go now. Hopefully, because I just feel like, I think that's probably gonna be part of his thing too, is that he's gonna lose sight and he's gonna lose people, which for me is like, I actually don't want to have this much of an arc for this man, but like I get it. I get it, because he's supposed to be important. I do need them to stop making Carly so adorable. Playing with them kids, wanting to be a teacher, crying about the nun. I was just like telling him to put his seatbelt on when she was about to blow up those guys. I was like, listen, is it partially because I'm a little gay? Maybe. But also, buff lady who can beat up the world?
How old is she? She looks so young.
She is, I think she's late teens, early 20s.
Let's look this up so I can
she looks like
develop
she's
an opinion.
20.
I think she is
20.
I think she is supposed to be that young. I think that's her age, because like I think she's supposed to represent a different type of innocence to kind of like parallel John Walker's All-American Boy and like the Global Repatriation Act.
She was born in 98, so she's 21 currently. Her birthday's in October. No, she's 22. She's 22.
She's not. Oh, word.
Oh, she looks really young. Like I would have been like, maybe she's 19.
Oh, she was also in Solo. I forgot. I remember now.
Don't let ADHD take the reins. We're talking about Winter Soldier.
Thank you.
I was like, I see it coming.
It's like all of her crew looks older than her.
Yeah.
I definitely think we're seeing like corruption, and I think we're going to see the thing that I'm scared of. Or what I think, this is a prediction, this is me throwing something out there, is that we're going to get back to the core of the serum. I think Sam is going to take the serum. I think Walker's going to take the serum. And I think we're going to see how, throwing it all the way back to the first Captain America, how it amplifies what's in. So we're going to see the dark parts of Carly, especially now that she saw that Donya die. Those things are going to about to get amplified. And I
Well, she
think
did kill
that
a whole like base full of people.
yeah, and I
Okay.
think Walker's is going to get amplified, and I think Sam will get it, and I think that will be part of his sovereignty. I understand. Do you disagree with me?
Listen.
That's what you say. I think that's what's going to happen to Sam. I think he's going to get a little amplification too, and he's going to grow into the leader partially because of his serum and become a new Captain America. Do you think I'm wrong? Okay then.
Listen. I know that I am, and we all know that I'm a redhead apologist.
I did not know
But-
that.
Oh, I am. It just happened. Listen, I like watched the film Seven Brides for Seven Brothers like on repeat when I was a kid, and it just imprinted on my mind. I can't help it. I just want Carly. I want her to get better. I don't want this done with her dying. Because the problem is, yes, murdering people is bad, exploding people is bad. But everything else she's done isn't really objectively bad. Like, she just went too far, and it bothers me that she did, that you have this character who's incredibly empathetic, who is trying to, like, make sense of the chaos of the world, who's standing up for the people who are being fought against, and now she's a terrorist. I wish the writers hadn't done that to me. I blame the writers. I don't blame her.
Also, were they really that great of a people? Like, were they, like, the people that she blew up, were they really,
They weren't exactly saints.
They were
saying.
Saints.
they weren't
And-
great people. They weren't good people. They're just like,
And
hey, it's not,
remember that. Like, that one time that Tony destroyed an entire city and he got no repercussions. I'm just
Not
saying,
a
spread a
single
little
one.
bit of that around. Just a little bit.
Tony has war crimes.
So many.
Tony has so many war crimes.
war crimes
And
on his war crimes.
double war crimes. Once again, I will
think-
always just remember when he's just like, oh, that guy who stole shit from Wakanda, I know him. And Steve's like, you never brought this up before now? And he's like, you meet people at conventions. No, Tony, you don't meet war criminals at conventions. And yet you signed the
don't
Sokovia
jump on.
Accords. You signed the Sokovia Accords, and you don't give over a list of literal war criminals.
It's about having a monopoly on violence.
The fuck?
Like, I think
But-
we're gonna end up seeing eventually everyone's like right hand friends, like right hand mans, basically having to check their other friends. Because I feel like Battlestar's going to have to check Walker soon. Because Walker's gonna take things too far. I feel like he's gonna end up trying to like choke Carly to death, and then
Yeah.
Battlestar's gonna have to like knock him off of her, like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's gonna end up killing him.
In my mind,
with with Carly, I feel like her friend, I don't even know what his name is going to end up being
Pretty
like,
boy.
hey, pretty boy. I feel like he's gonna have to be like, hey, you are taking things way too far. Like, we're not here to kill people for no reason. Like, we're here to help people. And then Sam and Bucky are already like dealing with their back and forth of checking each other.
do you want to hear my wild prediction?
Yeah.
Okay, wild prediction. You are right. Carly is talking with Pretty Boy, and he's like, "You've gone too far," and she's like, "I did go too far. I'm super sorry about that. I'm not going to give up to the government because I have the super serum in me, and they're just going to do tons of experience, and everyone's screwed up. But I'm going to try and make it right. Okay, cool." Then Falcon, Winter Soldier, Sam, and Bucky talk to them, and they realize, we can't turn this girl over to the government because we know they're going to do shit because the CIA was already doing shit with the super soldier serum, and they're going to try and make it better. There's also some new big thing that we all need to work for, and they can help us try and make it better. But then John, whatever, and Battlestar are going to come on the scene, and John's going to be like, she's a bad guy. We got to kill her. And they're going to be like, we're not going to murder her. She's like 21. She doesn't even know what she's doing and all that. We're not going to turn her over to the government. And they're like, if you're an enemy of me, you're an enemy of America. And then they're going to be like, you don't even know what America stands for. And then he's going to attack her and they're going to defend her. They're all on the run. That's where the series ends. Stay tuned for season 2.
Bro, I would love
Except
a
there's
season
no
2.
season 2, it's a limited series.
That's where the series ends. Stay tuned for the next movie.
Yeah.
I don't know which movie it's gonna be. Like
Avengers 5, I don't know.
I was like, with WandaVision, we all knew which movie that was leading up to because it's like, well, multiverse of madness, blah blah blah. But yeah.
But I think we're all forgetting. This is a segue, by the way. Another wrench in our problems, which is now Wakanda's getting involved.
So
Ayo
now we can
showed
talk
up.
about Wakanda.
Now we can talk.
Ayo
about
showed
Wakanda.
up looking like a hot ass bad bitch, and I was
Dude.
like,
I saw a lot of people saying,
motherfucker,
like,
I'm gay.
Okoye's here. It's like, this is Ayo.
This is literally a
Yeah.
different black woman. Oh my
It's a
god.
black person.
Oh, speaking of different black person, we're all in agreement that the bartender at the bar knew that Sam wasn't the smiling tiger or whatever and just didn't say anything. Because there's no way. There's no way. He's just like, listen, you don't stay alive this long by snitching, so it's not my business.
He was the king of minding his own business. He was like, y'all fight in my bar for what?
Yeah.
Y'all fighting here for what?
Just
There's
another
guns
fucking
everywhere.
Thursday night. Do we think... Every time I've said this, you guys have disagreed with me, actually. Tonight. Never mind. I'm going to keep it to myself. I'm going to keep it to myself.
No, tell us. What the fuck?
I don't know. We know canonically in our hearts that Bucky loves some black women.
He does.
Do we think that there's anything between the two?
Technically, she's a lesbian.
Is she?
Pretty
I don't know
sure
these things.
most of the Dora are lesbians, if I remember correctly. She was specific. But
Love
this
that
is
for her.
Marvel, so MCU. So maybe she's bi.
Maybe
If she's
I
bi,
literally have no idea.
I had no
bi,
idea
yes.
about that. That makes sense. I
If
love
she's
that.
bi, yes. If
for our
she's a
community.
lesbian, no.
Yeah, I would agree.
If she is a lesbian, they definitely are besties. That is
Well,
a queer bestie alliance.
They're Malimum Woo solidarity.
Yes.
I feel like I didn't read any like tension there aside from like.
No, they
like,
just
oh, shit.
looked at each other. That was literally
Yeah,
it.
they just kind of looked at each other.
But
so
he
just,
was so casual with them. Was like, those are your friends, Bucky.
Mm-hmm.
He was a different
I feel
type.
like they at least like have some kind of rapport.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have some kind of rapport. Like they probably were good enough friends that she felt like comfortable like showing herself to him, like and leave with the clues and shit.
Like,
So
hey,
there was like some kind of friendliness there.
hey, bestie, I'm about to tell you something you might not like.
Yeah, that's gonna
Like,
be
I'm gonna have to kill that guy that's helping you. I really don't care.
That is gonna be so. I wonder, cause like the thing is, that is the thing that is like the one thing wrong with Wakanda is they put Wakanda first, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so my question is like, are they gonna do like, are we gonna learn what happened to Wakanda? Is this just gonna give us like a little backstory? Is that what that's gonna do? Are they actually gonna help? Like what? Like what?
Also seems like a lot to get into with 3 episodes left. Like we've introduced Wakanda to the story, which makes sense because, you know, it's relevant. But also, how are they dealing with the whole Black Panther thing now that Chadwick Boseman has passed away? But like we've introduced Wakanda, we've introduced the Power Broker, we've introduced more super soldier serum. We have to tie up some loose end with fake Captain America. What about the boat? What about Sam and his home loan? What about Bucky's growth after everything and what he's working on? What happens with Zemo, which ties into Wakanda? But it's just like there's so many strings.
I think
bold to add another. Bold move.
I think that's why I like this episode, but it's not like I like this episode to watch, but I was like, this is not a great episode because there's so much going on.
Yeah.
There was a lot happening.
There's a lot happening, and I'm like, it didn't feel rushed, but it's one of those things where you sit back and you're like, what the actual fuck are you doing?
What is the pacing here? And
I'm not so sure about the pacing of this series. Like, I don't know what's going to possibly happen in the next few episodes. It's going to bring them back to Louisiana, because we did get that preview with Sam, Bucky, Sarah, like in Louisiana, right?
yeah.
So like, what the hell's going to happen to bring them back home?
Yeah, especially
And
because all the
just
episodes
chill
are like
in
the same
Louisiana
length.
as well.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. It might be like, that might be like the season finale thing. I just, like, part of me wonders if this is also how they're going to introduce White Wolf, like, make it more solidified. Like, is she gonna call him White Wolf? Is that, because, like, I'm like, that is a lot of
It's a lot of
stuff to just call a nigga White Wolf. Like,
honestly.
like, I was like, couldn't do that in a text. Couldn't send some mail.
I also feel like how I feel about this episode is really going to depend on how the later episodes turned out. Because if they do manage in a semi or mostly coherent way to tie up all of these storylines in a way that feels like this was a complete project and not just a lead into several other movies, I will think this was a good episode. If I get to the finale and I decide that they haven't done that, this is going to be the episode. I'm like, this is where it all went wrong. Like, this is where it got too many things.
Yeah.
I think episode 4 is going to like make or break this series for me, because they've opened up so many like loose ends that they now have to close in 3 episodes. Well, they're not going to close all of them. They're going to close like the biggest ones. But still, like, what are you going to possibly do that's going to close out the whole like super soldier like main plot line?
They just go, oop, another blip.
Like,
they will simply create more plot lines.
At this point, what they have to do is close out their major plot, which is the super soldier thing. Everything else that they've opened is like fair game for further movies. But like, how the fuck are we gonna get there? Like, there's just a lot we have to get through.
The other thing is, there's still someone else they have to introduce.
Who?
That we don't know yet, because the one thing that is pretty neat about the credits is, first they switch Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan for top build spot in the beginning of the credits. So if you watch, they like switch off who is the first person you see, and then the rest of them, they don't reveal the name cards until the person has appeared. So Io has appeared, so then we saw her name card in the credits, and there's one more left. I think it's just one more, but there's at least one more character that needs to be revealed, which is, I think, part of the reason why I don't know if Sharon's going to be the power broker, because I'm like, there has to be someone who's connected to the plot that we already heard about to be the power broker. So part of me is like, hopefully that's it, because otherwise I'm going to be like, I'm not that smart. I can't keep up with all these names.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even remember what I had for breakfast yesterday. Y'all need to help me help myself.
I also think, like, part of my brain has rotted from WandaVision, because WandaVision was all about all of these little callbacks and things that were setting up to other things. And you could kind of see how things were converging in it, even if you didn't know where. And here, there's so much setup, but I have no idea what the payout's supposed to be.
I feel like, I think also a huge part is that it is a different genre, because WandaVision was like slice of life. Yeah. It was TV, slice of life, but this one is action thriller, and I'm like, the thriller part, the suspense, and I'm like, I was watching. I was just watching some kids run with some pumpkins like 2 weeks ago. I don't know if like my brain did not switch genres.
Like, my idea of this, like, of both shows, is that they were both really ambitious, but in like different ways. Like, this show is really ambitious in that they open up a bunch of like subplots, and also are covering like issues with like race and intersectionality and stuff like that. Whereas WandaVision was just like super ambitious, because they like subvert. Not only did they subvert a couple tropes, but they also like mashed together a bunch of different genres into like one big cohesive thing. So this one, I don't know how it's going. Like, I just think they open up one too many subplots.
And I know that they're different shows and the plot is different and the scale is different between like Falcon and the Winter Soldier and like Jessica Jones and Daredevil, because both of those shows are literally just set in Hell's Kitchen. But as much as I like this, I think a lot of the enjoyment of this is also dependent on having enjoyed other Marvel movies and these characters beforehand. But I'm just like, every streaming title that Marvel's going to give me, I'm going to be like, is this as good as Jessica Jones / Daredevil? I don't think this is there yet. I think it depends on how it ends. I think it depends on what all of these little trails are leading to.
True.
Right now, in terms of like Marvel shows I've seen, WandaVision was number 1, and then 2 is Jessica Jones. I didn't watch the other one, so I can't voice my opinions on them.
Yeah. I think WandaVision is my number 1, because I was crying like a little baby bitch. Tears streamed down my face. I think, too, I also would put Jessica Jones. Daredevil got a little too grim dark for me. You know, when you're just like, guys, listen, I know it sucks, but like, does that just suck that bad? So I think I'll probably put Luke Cage.
Yeah.
And then Daredevil, I'll put Winter Falcon on when it's done. I do say, like, I will say, like, I do kind of enjoy, like, the 7 Deadly Sins vibe we get, where we get, like, each intersection with each character, like, racism with Falcon, PTSD and guilt with Bucky. Also globalism, like, not like globalism, but like repercussions, I guess, is maybe closest with Zemo. Because I know, like, hearing him comment about the pimp outfit is like bad, but like, as like the African in me was just like, yeah. Like seeing like someone like being like, just to constantly check like how America's ego was so fucking refreshing. Even though he's a bad guy, he's a bad man. He does bad things.
The thing that bothered me isn't the checking America's ego. It's that it's still by some like billionaire privileged white guy who's
still
checking
like by a rich white guy. Yeah, I mean, like, it could have been by anyone else.
Yeah.
It could have been anyone else. But like sometimes, like, hearing someone just being like, "Why are you guys like?" Especially when it comes to like gender norms in America, I'm just like this. I'm like, what's your gender norms, America? It's so much for what reason? So
bitch, you live like this.
There was like that small. It was a very small part, but part of me was like, someone said it. Could have been anyone else, but like also still like the whole like
heartbreaking. The worst person you know just made a really good point.
Yeah, but like also just like that. I do like that, and like how Carly's a different foil of that. Like, I think how Carly could become Zemo is like, I think what they were trying to show, which is like kind of cool. And like, yeah, so I like kind of like how each, and like Sharon is just like misogyny and just, you know, like how someone gets, she's a girl boss, but she also represents how there's always someone who falls through the cracks.
Yeah.
Like how no system is perfect, because she's just like, everyone else was fine, and Sharon's just like, I'm fucking around with stolen art now.
Thought I would do it for me.
Yeah.
Like, I would be kind of pissed at Steve too. Like, you didn't get me a pardon, but you actually got Bucky, who is canonically a war criminal, a pardon.
The one thing I will say, though, in my brain, it is, for me, I'm like, of course it's easier for Bucky to get a pardon. He was literally brainwashed. He was a tool. Like, he wasn't even a person. So, like, in my brain, I'm like, it makes sense. This man literally had no control over his body, and that's kind of sad. And everyone else made active choices. Also, Bucky has snitch power, so Bucky could have gotten his own pardon. Bucky would have been like, you want to list the names? You want to know? You want to know who shot JFK? Like, I was like, part of me was like, I understand what everyone's saying, but I'm like, they're not the same. Bucky has so much more going for him on that, get that pardon bus.
Apparently, like, helped him out for how long? Like, we're were Sharon, Sam, and Cap on the run together?
Sharon, I don't think they were on the run together. I think that's, or if they were, I think also we're gonna have to find. I think that's gonna be one of those things
Yeah.
that we're gonna find, especially because I'm like, in 5 years you got a loyal ass driver.
Bro, I don't know, but like just how they framed it, it sounded like Sam, Steve, and Sharon had been like on the run, and not even if it wasn't together, it was at the same time for similar, if not the same reasons. And like Sam got to go back to his normal life, like Bucky got a pardon, Steve got to go back to his normal life, and then Sharon got completely left behind.
Okay,
Yeah.
also, Steve didn't get to go back to his normal life. Steve just fucking left.
I mean, like, he got to...
He had the opportunity to.
Yeah.
Also, he did get the opportunity to.
Got, like,
yeah, also, I think... Part of me is like, I think no one knows where Steve is. I think people think Steve died in Endgame.
Low-key, people think he's on the moon.
But like, yeah, I don't think people know where he is. Like, I don't think, like, there's a part of me that thinks, like, I don't think the government knows that Steve is alive because he fucking retired.
No, because they would not give him a moment's peace. If nothing else, they would have had him crowned the new Captain America to get people to calm the fuck down. That's what I would do if I was the government. Which is why I'm not, because that sounds sucky.
Yeah, which is why I'm like theories of, well, not theories, but like when people are like, Steve didn't do anything, I was like, I think the last thing he did was give up that shield. I think he just went into the distance. Like, which sad-ass poet, like, pocket full of rocks into the lake, never to be seen again. Like, he's a ghost.
Someone knows where he is. Someone knows where he is.
I think Sam would know. I think Sam knows, and he's not going to bother Steve because Steve doesn't want to be bothered.
I'm not going to lie. I don't think Sam knows because Sam has yet to prove that he can hold it down. I love Sam.
That's why he hasn't contacted him.
Yeah.
Oh, because he knows
he's trying to prove he's a big boy.
Yeah.
It's the same reason why Nick Fury didn't contact Captain Marvel, because he's like, oh, shit.
If I was Steve and I had to decide who gets to know, I would tell Bucky because Bucky can keep shit on lock.
Oh, yeah.
Bucky's lips are sealed. I would tell Nick, maybe. Depends on the day. That's like a 50-50 shot.
I feel like...
And that's it. Maybe Nebula.
I think it's Sam. But he refuses to contact him because he knows first of all, he gave him the shield. And he knows that... Or not he knows, but he feels like he can't be what Steve wants him to be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And doesn't want to face him.
You probably also doesn't want to get yelled at by an 85-year-old man.
Yeah. But then that begs the question, like, why wouldn't Steve contact Sam? Or has he? And Sam's literally just been ignoring him. Or running from the calls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. Okay.
But
is it time for my random question?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. This is my segment I like to call I'm asking them a random question. They have to answer it no matter what. So my question to you.
That's a long title.
Yes. My question to you lot today is, if you were in a plane crash on a deserted island, how long do you think it would take for you to resort to cannibalism?
Oh, I'd kill myself immediately. I'm so sorry. I'm like things like that where I'm like, when I don't have like a specific timeline, there's so much that can go. My glasses could break. If I got a yeast infection, if my IUD is about to run out, so if my IUD goes, and not only do I have to get my period, I have to get my period on a desert island. I'm anemic already. I'm not. Also, I don't care. I ain't built for it.
I have what I would call problematic opinions about cannibalism, I would say. It would depend on with who I'm with. It would depend. I'm assuming there's no other like food source on the island. Like I'm not just gonna start eating people. There's like a deer over there.
Any food source, but people did die in the crash.
People did. Oh, if they're already dead, then yeah. If there's no other food source, sure.
Wait, so how quickly would you do it?
Well, like when I got hungry, and like when I established there was no other way of getting food or dying,
Right.
and also
Can you
that
just-
there were no more potato chips in the little flight attendants thing in the plane.
Yeah, because you can make like 3 weeks for starting.
I think that like
Listen,
No, but like I understand where Amelia's coming from, because
Oh.
if you try to wait 3 weeks, those bodies are rotten and now you have no.
they're disgusting. I'm not trying to get prion disease.
no, what I'm saying is, I wouldn't wait 3 weeks, but like, fresh kill, just kill me, eat me.
Yeah.
So, like I just make sure it's like in my sleep or something, just snap my neck or whatever.
If we crash and you're immediately killing yourself, do you specifically want me to not eat your body? Because I will honor your wishes.
Oh, sorry. I won't immediately.
Okay.
I will do it immediately as soon as I realize it's gonna be a while.
Yeah,
Like,
it's gonna be a
21
while.
down.
Okay.
Yeah, like as soon as I'm like, oh, Hope's gone, you can then kill me, and then you can eat me or whatever. Just put my heart in like a sack or something, and like plant me like a tree. Like do some
For
like
sure.
cool shit like that.
Easy.
with like a couple of like organs that you think have significance.
Yes.
And then if you ever get rescued, let people know that I'm a tree, so people can map that island and name it after me, because my soul is imbued with the ground or whatever people believe.
I understand.
All of that seems entirely reasonable, and I'm more than happy to do that upon your demise.
Yeah, but yeah, like as soon as we're like, oh yeah, we're not getting saved for like a year or so, I'm like, end my life. I'm also allergic to a lot of things. I'm not built for that type of stuff.
I just have far too much hubris in my body that if I were in a crash on a desert island and I thought, oh, God thinks he can kill me like this. No, I'm going to make it a problem. I'm going to make it a problem for as long as I can. It's called spite.
Like the fact that like my shoes might break and then I have to walk around like the ground barefoot. I might get sand in my coochie or my butthole. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
think you'd
just
have to
errant
work pretty
sand.
hard to get sand in your coochie or your butthole, though. That's
It's
not
a
going to happen
plane crash.
accidentally. Oh,
It's a plane crash, and you're telling me the most ridiculous thing is that there might be some sand in my coochie, especially because we're
Yes.
going to be in a beach. Sand's going to get everywhere. It's going to get in my underwear, and I'm just going to be there's like the amount of time I don't care. I don't like as soon as I'm like, oh, we're not getting rescued anytime soon. End me, eat me, turn me into a tree. Thank you.
okay. What about you,
Yeah.
Momo?
I like am a mixture of both of your answers. Like I don't want to have to struggle. I don't want to do that survival struggle. Like that's just not me. I'm not built for that. But also I completely understand the mindset of like if I want to do like the moral high road and eat all the snacks first, so I don't eat people. Like that's gonna backfire because then the dead bodies are going to be rotting. And then I'm
Well,
gonna
you
have to kill
smoke
a
them.
live person. Well, I don't know how to do that shit.
I've watched
just
so much
rotisserie
Discovery.
them.
That's my other problem. I've watched so much Discovery Channel. I'm like, I could totally survive in the wilderness for sure.
Yeah,
For
just
sure.
like pretend to bury people, but you're smoking them like a luau.
You cut them and you get the fire. You cut them in strips. You hang from tree itself. It is. You can figure it out. I could figure it out for sure.
Once again, the difference. I was like, listen, you could luau smoke me. I don't give a fuck.
Like the other thing, my problematic opinions about cannibalism are: I think murdering people is bad. I do not think the inherent consumption of human meat is like. I don't know. I don't think you're gonna go to hell for that. I think if you kill someone and eat them, probably like that's not good. I don't want to eat humans. I have no interest in eating humans. But that's a great soundbite.
Also, the fact that I wouldn't have my antidepressants, dog, I would be ready to go.
That's the
Yeah.
part I'm gonna sound good from this episode. Like I have problematic opinions of cannibalism.
Can we make a clip of that?
Word. We'll do it in post.
I will. I want to. I don't know how to do that. So one of you that are really good at it.
Okay. Well, you can do it
Yeah.
through Twitch, but yeah.
Okay,
no.
so one of you
Okay.
do that sound bit, and then
Not
post
it.
to our TikToks.
I'll figure it out.
Word. Yeah. But I also
And
just
is
want
that
to
all
say,
we have for today?
well, we have to go through our final thoughts and predictions, and then also your top 3 characters
Yes.
as of now. So, Amelia,
All right.
final thoughts, predictions, and your top 3.
Okay. I already gave I already did my whole big prediction thing. So my final thoughts are how I feel about this episode will depend on if the payoff of being ambitious with all of these plot arcs and these plot threads that they've started. If they can close those, that will, in a way that's actually satisfying to the audience, I will be impressed. Otherwise, I'm gonna be like, you should have known what you could do. You shouldn't have taken more on your plate than you could eat. Favorite characters. I don't know. I don't know if I loved anyone this episode or I hated anyone. I don't know. Let me think. Carly's probably number 3 because I think there's the potential to make her a really interesting character if they don't just go the corruption route. I'm gonna go for interesting, not famous or not favorite. Zemo also close second, I think, because he's brought up more points that make the universe more complex than any of the other characters so far. And I always like the villain who is aligned with the hero temporarily. I think that's going to be a fun, interesting development, and I'm excited to see where it turns out. And then my number 1, I'm going to put some faith in Sam. I want the writers not to do my guy dirty. I want to see him do some cool shit in the episodes, and not just like cool fighting stuff. Like, I want him to be more of an asset to the group, because right now he and Bucky are both just kind of tagging along with whatever Zemo's doing. I want them to go to the top. So those are my feelings. That's my rankings. Mm-hmm. Honorable mention for Girl Boss Sharon.
Okay. Am I up next?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my final thoughts for the episode is like this one. This is like it's the midpoint episode for me. Like, depending on episode 4, this episode right now is the make or break one. This makes or breaks. I know that like is kind of conflicting because like I'm saying episode 4 is gonna make or break it, but like literally this one is just like we're sitting at the top and we're just like, are we gonna fall back or are we gonna just go forward? What's gonna happen? And I kind of liked the introduction of Sharon in this episode. Like, I didn't hate it. I wasn't mad at it. And my final ranking for like my top 3, I want to go with Amelia and say most interesting characters. Number 3 is Zemo. And number 2, Carly. And number 1, I like Sharon. I'm going to go with Sharon. I like that she's the only one that knows what the fuck is going on or what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Final thoughts. I know we didn't really touch on it all. I did enjoy seeing that Bucky has accepted breaking Rule 2 or like had to deal with Rule 2 a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to kind of see him fucking lose his shit. I'm just like, I'm ready to see this man cry in like the most beautiful, loving way. I'm ready to see him cry. And I'm ready for more Wakanda. And that's those, and this episode, I knew it wasn't my favorite. I think it's one of those things like when you sit back and watch it, you're like, when you sit back and reflect on it, you're like, did I really like that, or was it just like a lot? And I think when it comes to binging, this episode will hold better weight than it does when it's like a release weekly episode. And then my top 3 characters when we go through the series. Number 1 is actually the bartender right now.
I was mentioning for the bartender for me.
Yeah, I was like something about that bartender's face when he was just like,
we love a king who can mind his own business.
Yeah, and he spoke so much while saying so little. Number 2 is still Bucky. Mostly, when he threw that pole like what's that him? He threw the pole like a javelin. Yeah, when he threw the pole at the javelin, I was like, part of me was like, I hate to admit it, but that's kind of hot to me. So we're gonna accept that. And then 3 is Zemo, because that one scientist motherfucker had a god complex and he put disrespect on Isaiah's name. So I was like, yeah, I need this guy to die. So when he took care of business and he got money.
Is Isaiah the best person in this series? Only time will tell.
Yeah. But yeah, so Sugar Zaddy Zemo.
Oh my god.
Puts him at number 3 right now.
Okay.
For my prediction for the next episode, I don't think we're going to get that much of Wakanda, or Wakanda's doings. I really feel like Ayo's gonna blip in and like blip right out. Like I feel like she's gonna be gone.
Oh yeah, I
within the
think they're
first
gonna
30
make a
minutes.
deal. I think they're gonna make a deal.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like she's gonna be completely gone from the storyline within like 30 minutes max. Not even
Yeah.
30 minutes, because the show's 45 minutes. I mean, like within like 10 minutes max, she's
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Well, thank everyone for tuning in to Blerd Roundtable. We'll see you next week. And until then, stay nerdy.
You can check out not season 3, episode 3, uploaded on our YouTube channel. I want to say by tomorrow.
Let's hope.
Okay. See you.
Okay.
Thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.